My daughter's been talking to something in her closet for 8 months. Last night it answered back. Nora was always a quiet kid. She liked drawing and playing with her dolls and making up little stories in her head. When she turned 6 last March, she started talking to her closet before bed every night. And I figured it was an imaginary friend thing, so I didn't worry about it, but it kept going. Every single night at 8:47 p.m., she would sit cross-legged in front of her closet door and whisper for exactly 11 minutes. I timed it once and she never went over and never went under. I asked her who she was talking to and she said his name was Mr. Hollow. She said he lived in the back of her closet behind her winter coats and he only came out when the lights were off. She said he was very tall and very thin and his arms were too long and he didn't have a face, but he could still see her. Kids make up weird stuff, so I told myself it was normal. Then she started drawing him. The first drawing was just a tall black scribble, but by the 10th drawing I could count 14 fingers on each hand, and his head touched the ceiling, and there was a hole where his mouth should be. Last month she told me Mr. Hollow was sad. She said he missed his family, and he's been alone in the dark for a very long time. She asked if he could come out and have dinner with us, and I said no. She looked at me with a face I'd never seen before. Dead serious, not a 6-year-old face. He is real, Daddy, and he says you shouldn't have said that. That night I woke up at 3:14 a.m. to a sound coming from Nora's room. It was low and rumbling like someone dragging furniture across the floor, so I walked down the hall and pressed my ear against her door. Nora was talking. I could hear her saying, "It's okay. He didn't mean it. Please don't be angry. He just doesn't understand yet." Then I heard something else. It was deep and wet like someone speaking through a throat full of mud. I couldn't make out words, but it had a rhythm like language. Like something trying very hard to form sounds it wasn't built to make. I opened the door and Nora was sitting in front of her closet just like always. But the closet door was open, and the darkness inside was wrong. It wasn't normal darkness. It was thick and moving, and I swear it was breathing. "Daddy," Nora said without turning around. "Mr. Hollow wants to know if you believe in him now." I grabbed her and pulled her out and slammed the door shut. She screamed and kicked and said I was hurting Mr. Hollow's feelings again and that he was going to be so angry. I locked her in the bathroom and went back with a flashlight. The closet was empty, but on the back wall there were marks. Long scratches in the drywall that went from floor to ceiling. I counted 47 of them. Some looked old and faded and some looked fresh. I ripped out the drywall and behind it was a hole. Not a hole I made, but a hole that was already there. It went back further than my flashlight could reach, and the air coming out was cold and smelled like wet pennies and something rotten underneath. I found a box sitting just inside the entrance. Inside were newspaper clippings from 1987. A girl named Ruthie Vance had lived in this house and went missing when she was 7. They never found her body. The last paragraph said she had an imaginary friend she talked to every night. She called him Mr. Hollow. Nora was banging on the bathroom door screaming to be let out. She said Mr. Hollow was coming now and there was nothing I could do. She said he waited 36 years for another friend, and he's not going to lose this one. I called the police, but Nora stopped screaming 5 minutes ago. Now she's just laughing soft and steady like someone told her a secret. I'm standing outside the bathroom door and I can hear her talking to someone. "He's right outside," she's saying. "Yes, I know. I'll bring him to you." The lights just flickered, and the hallway got cold, and there's a shadow spreading from under the door toward my feet. It's moving against the light. Nora just said, "He's here, Daddy." Mr. Hollow finally came out. He says you're going to live in the dark with Ruthie forever. The door is opening by itself, and I can see his fingers curling around the frame. I count 14 on the first hand.